Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our reaction and review for The Testament Season 1, Episode 4. We are very pleased to report 4 episodes in. This show
Mhm.
still 100% has it going. This is an excellent episode, but also very terrifying.
So terrifying. I wasn't sure what was going to end up happening with this dentist and Agnes. I kind of had a feeling things were going to amp up because he got away with that the first time around. I wasn't sure how the show was going to go with it, how much they were going to show me, and how uncomfortable they were going to make me. They didn't show very much, but they showed enough that I was very uncomfortable watching this. One bow made me feel miserable for Agnes.
That is the difficult line that they have to toe here, is that this is a very dark world with a lot of very serious and just heavy material.
And these are kids.
Yeah, and
So
the
how
kids.
much, how far do you push it?
Yeah, and I think everyone on the show is probably conscientious of the fact that,
Mhm.
okay, we don't want to just completely dump terrible thing on all of our viewers, but at the same time, this is a world where these terrible things happen. So we have to toe that line, and we also need to get Agnes to this point that's just everything is just devastating for her. And
Yeah.
she is in this spot now where she's undergone something that she knows is just unspeakably wrong. And now kind of the question becomes, what does she do after this? How can she
Yeah.
move forward?
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Gilead has been created in such a way that there's not a lot of ways that you can sort of get justice for the things
Mhm.
that are happening to you if you're a woman in Gilead or a child in Gilead. It's very difficult to really, yeah, get justice for it. And to put on top of it, this is her best friend's dad.
Yeah.
So who does she tell at this point? Because Becca would have been the person that she would have gone to. Does she still go to Becca? I mean, we're going to get into that.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with Agnes, sort of these multiple selves that she's fighting in her
Hmm.
head. There's a lot you have to take on clearly in this world. And all of
Yeah.
this is amidst the most terrible tea party of all time. This is not a tea party I ever want to attend in a million years.
Miserable. I really like a tea party. I love going to high tea. I love a tea party, but no, thank you.
No, apparently, if you trip or if you stumble or if you say the wrong thing, it is the worst moment of your entire life.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's a brutal world, and we know that. I
Yeah.
mean, we all watched *Handmaid's Tale*, and here we are.
All right. Well, we have a lot to get into here, a lot of theories, larger discussions. Before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe
Hmm.
button. We are going to be here through all of the testaments, breaking
Yeah.
things down with you guys. We love hearing your own thoughts, your own theories in the comments. So be sure to share those as we go along here.
Absolutely. And another way to help support us here at the channel is
Mhm.
by joining our memberships. It really helps Matt and I here at the channel. And right now, over there, we are covering exclusively Monarch Legacy of Monsters
Mhm.
and the final season of The Boys. And we have Criminal Minds coming up next month there. And it's the only place that you can get those videos from us. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined.
Thank you guys. That is so, so very appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, let's just dive more into Agnes here because I'm going to propose this idea that Agnes basically has day to day Agnes, who is the person who's going to Aunt Lydia's school and sort of operating
Mhm.
with everyone else, the Marthas in her life, Paula, these characters who, for better or worse, often for worse, she has to deal with. But
Yeah.
then there is this repressed self that Agnes has going on. I mean, you can call it the Hannah if you want, but it's really just the person within Agnes that I think is pretty acutely aware of how bad and how messed up things really are.
Yeah, one thing that I really like how they dealt with this, because there was definitely lots of questions of, well, does Agnes not remember who she is?
Mhm.
Does she not remember June? Does she not remember being taken? Does she just not remember any of this? We've seen it in the comments and people
Yeah.
asking about it. The show got right to it in this episode, and they really addressed it in the best way possible, where you've got Daisy kind of like asking Agnes about it. Oh, you've got Paula and you have, your other mother. But what about before all of this? Oh, it's rude to talk about that. We don't talk about that here. So it's not that she doesn't remember or anything like that. She remembers, but it's not something that you talk about here. Everybody, it just moves on.
Yeah, I appreciate the clarity very, very much.
Me too.
Like, this at least gives us a sense of, all right, we really know what's going on in Agnes's head. And a lot of
Yeah.
it is Agnes does not want to keep certain things inside Agnes's head, because I think it is a lot of, and you touched on this earlier, just utter hopelessness, where
Yes.
I think if that repressed part of her is constantly at the front of her mind, like, that's just a very, very difficult way to live when you don't really feel any sense of hope. You
Yeah.
don't feel optimism that these things are ever going to come around for you. So there's probably this really unfortunate part of her that is just thinking, I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm
Yeah.
just going to try to deal with things as they are in this new world that I'm living in, terrible as it may be. And she just doesn't see a way out.
Yeah, it feels like she has locked that part away in her brain and is like, I got to make the best of the situation that I'm in. However, now that she's in this situation with Becca's father, this is a situation I think that she just didn't think she was ever really going to be in. That maybe the first time when he was putting on the x-ray vest, she
Yeah.
might have been able to try to think it away, to be like, maybe it was just a mistake, a mistake that, is uncomfortable to have happen, but a mistake. But now she knows it is not a mistake.
It's unavoidable. I mean, the obvious statement here is I want this dude on the wall, and I want this dude on the wall. Next episode, by the end of this, I do feel like the producers are very much aware of how upset and angry we're going to be about this. And just like,
Yes.
Agnes deserves justice. I think we're all sitting here with like, okay, we want to see something really, really bad happen to this person.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so we've said we haven't read the book,
Yeah.
so we don't know where they're going with it. And, they are moving in some different directions away from the books as well, which I appreciate. If I wanted to just watch the book, I would read the book. I really like it when shows will take source material and do something a little bit different and creative with it, which is what is happening here.
Yeah.
I don't know if Becca's father, if he's going to be that brazen to do that with Agnes. It feels like he has probably done this with other girls that have come to the dentist. But then I was even thinking further back and I
Yeah.
was like, is this something that could have happened to Becca as well? I wasn't sure, because when everything happened at the tea party and Agnes, bit into the bride and chipped her tooth, right away, Becca was like, my dad'll fix you up. Don't worry. He's got you. And then I was just like, okay, well, I don't feel like she'd be that excited if something was going on with her dad, but maybe she's just like, I know my dad's a good dentist and maybe something won't happen there. I don't know what is going on here. Who feels that maybe Becca knows something because maybe something happened to her? This is such a miserable world. Jeez.
It's a really miserable world. I feel like Becca probably doesn't know. And I say that mostly from the vantage point, and man, this is really, really dark. It's just that this guy is an unspeakably terrible person who I think he's probably done this to a number of other people.
Yes, this is not his first time. He was putting on that vest like he has done this quite a few times.
Yeah, and I think because of that, and there's constantly all these different people, he's just banking on this idea that this is a world where everybody has to repress everything and that they don't have anyone that they can talk to because they're all sort of isolated outside of anything else. They're not a part of his direct family. They're not somebody he's going to be seeing every second of the day. I think he just thinks he can get away with it, as icky and terrible as that is. And it does lead us, though, to this position where Agnes, like the person at the center of all this, she knows what's happened to herself. And on paper, this guy may think, okay, there's nobody that she can really talk to. But here is where some of the breadcrumbs start to come in when it connects to Daisy, because over the past couple of episodes, she has seen sort of the repressed Daisy come to the forefront. I think in a way that she probably has not seen a lot of the other people she's gone to school with. Like, she has seen Daisy fall apart. She's heard Daisy swear. She's done a lot of things where she could have easily gone and sold out Daisy for any and all of these things. And while Daisy has been punished for some things, not the extent of everything that she has done.
The problem is that Daisy has sold her out. So I'm not sure. I mean, they have moved past it and
Mm.
they are sharing more personal things now. But there's part of me that feels like the person she's going to end up going to is actually going to end up being Becca, which, I know you guys might be out there being like, no, there's no way. She's not. How do you go to your best friend and be like, this happened with your dad? But I feel like, we saw the beginning of this episode. It
Mhm.
seems that Becca is very much in love with Agnes, first love,
Mm.
crush, whatever it is that is going on there,
Yeah.
young love. But it also felt like there was something there for Agnes as well when they were like dancing and there's big smiles. I don't know if it's just a carefree, she's with the person she trusts the most, that she loves the most, or if there is something romantic there for Agnes too. It could be both things where there's a little bit of the romance, but there's also the best friend to just go to her and tell her this.
I think there's a chance that can work, and I do think it's tied to I got the same vibe, especially from Becca. Like, I think it's 100% clear that Becca
She's in love.
yeah, like, she is really in love. I mean, you're in this place where you're basically told, "Get married or else." Like, that's the real
Get
credo.
married to a man.
Yes, and so I think for her to explicitly say, "I don't want to get married," because I mean, she's in a
Right.
spot where she can't really think or process the idea of being married to anyone other than, the people who Gilead tells her to marry. So she can't express fully what's on her mind, but I think she does enough to probably make, on some level, Agnes feel like, okay, she is being very vulnerable. And while we can all sit back and say, all right, these people are really young, are they going to be conscious of each other's feelings? It's complicated, but I think at the same time, Becca is aware enough that, all right, there's something that Becca is feeling towards me that's different to what a lot of these other young people are feeling towards me. Do I know that this is love? Do I know that this is trust? Like, that's a hard thing to figure out, but I think she does recognize that it's different, and different may be enough. Like, here's where things get a little bit more complicated, at least for me, is I don't know if Agnes is in love with Becca or not. Like, I think there's something there. I don't think it's as obvious as it is with Becca. And I mean, there's also something there with Agnes and Garth, who's just kind of standing around a lot of the time on this show, but it is just, all right, that she has feelings for both of them, like what's going on in her head, like that probably complicates things even more.
Yeah, it's a coming of age story, right? Where feelings are complicated. You don't really know yourself that well. I mean, take the Gilead out of it. We've all been there as teenagers where we have a crush on one person one day, maybe another one another week, maybe two people at the same time. You find them cute and you don't really know what to do with your feelings. And that's okay. It's part of growing up. But in Gilead,
Yeah.
Becca having feelings for Agnes, or if Agnes ends up having feelings for Becca, that is like a death sentence out
Yes.
there. Like, you can't be doing that there.
No, and I think
You
that's
guys need to get to Toronto.
please, please, sooner rather than later. A lot of these characters really do. I hope that we don't lead into some sort of situation where Agnes ends up having to bottle this up for episodes on end. Like, I don't think this show is really going to rush through any reveal. It sounds like there's a multi-season plan, but I at least want her to have somebody to confide in here, just because carrying something like this is just so unspeakably horrible. And whether she can break through with Daisy, despite what's happened in the past, whether she can lean on Becca and hope that Becca doesn't end up saying anything and that there is that sort of solidified trust. I think she's going to go somewhere with it.
Do any of us think she might go to Aunt Lydia? I mean, we have had the situation already where we saw the girls out and saw, people up there basically on the wall for this exact thing. She's in the tough situation of how
Yeah.
do I prove that this has actually happened to me? I have a string that's been undone. Is that something that then maybe they could be like, oh, well, maybe it just came undone or whatever, right? She knows that that's not
Yeah.
the case. But is there enough for her to go and say something? Could she go to Aunt Lydia?
This is one of those moments where I wish that Hannah/Agnes had like the omniscience, the understanding of everything we all know
Right.
about Aunt Lydia, because we know as viewers Aunt Lydia does care about these girls. Like Aunt
Yes.
Lydia cared a lot about a ton of people on The Handmaid's Tale. You know, our beloved Janine. Like there is that affection where
Right.
Lydia would never want this sort of thing to happen, but you know, Agnes is on the outside looking in on a lot of this stuff.
Here's the thing about Aunt Lydia. I still
Hmm.
feel like she's a mole after everything that happened in Boston. I think her eyes are wide open.
Yeah.
She's found a way back into power. It's not a coincidence that then Daisy's here and that she's put Daisy with Agnes or any of these types of things. But she still has to know what's happening
Yeah.
to these women here, to the wives here, as well as to the girls here. And just because she's feeling that maybe she's been able to help deal with the handmaid problem to some degree to be able to at least free the handmaids from Boston, I still feel like there's got to be handmaids going on in Gilead in general. I find it interesting actually that they haven't really spoken very much about that and we haven't seen any walking around.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, there's this part of me that's like, all right,
But I feel like they're still there.
they got to be there in some shape or form. It's
Yeah,
what,
like 4 years, and all of a sudden all the handmaids are gone. All the
yeah,
men are gonna allow that.
yeah. Changes in thinking, in philosophy, doctrine, whatever you want to say. Like, they all take time.
Right.
I feel like it's probably a conscious decision on the show's part of, all right, maybe we'll include handmaids or discussions about them a little bit further down the road. We
Right.
want to just try to live in this world that's a little bit different right now
Right.
and make you guys think that things are changing. And to some
Mhm.
extent, there might be things that are better. And Lydia's work to make sure that some of those things are better. I think the tricky thing with this character in particular is that she also does want to survive. And she is this
Yes.
woman who has gone through a lot. She has found a way to not only make it through it, even after everything that she did with June, but to run a school, to have a statue for herself. I think it's given her a
Wild.
yeah, it's given her a little bit of flexibility. So I think she can do some things that she wasn't able to previously through the guise of, oh, I'm helping all these young women. But I think she also kind of knows, all right, there's still limitations on what I can do and say. So she's got, I don't want to say a hands off approach because I agree. I think she is a mole and I think she's passing information around. I think she's still reliant on other people to take a Game of Thrones reference, some little birds to come in and say and do things. And the problem here is that unless we have a full on conversation with Agnes and Lydia, can Lydia even put some of these little birds in action? Like, I think she would do something, but she might not be able to do anything directly.
Well, yeah, because I don't think that Daisy knows that Aunt Lydia is a mole. I
Mhm.
think that that's something that she mostly is keeping apart, but Lydia knows that Daisy is a mole and that she's been brought in and is able to put her with Agnes because now we've got Daisy out here actually like, you know what? I'm out. Get me out of
Yeah.
here after everything that just happened with the flower shop lady. I don't want to be part of this anymore. Garth, you got to get me out of here. I'm done with this. Garth is just like, listen, we have never really had somebody from Mayday this close to like actually being able to get information.
Mhm.
You are in like a prime spot to bring back information. And she was able to bring back information. She was able to get from Agnes's father that he's got these little chocolates
Yeah.
that have Japanese on the back of them, which is a country that they're not supposed to be talking to.
Yeah, I liked that reveal because that
It
was
was a cool reveal.
it was a nice sort of way to show, all right, we can do something here, even if it's just little victories on the way to something bigger. Like, this is something The Handmaid's Tale did for many, many years.
Yes.
Like, we had everything in Boston, but it took a long time because Mayday, there's still a really small organization in the grander scheme of things, especially, you know, in the way that the show is presenting it. It can't get too big or too grand at any moment because otherwise we're doing, I don't know, 20 episode seasons and this is on streaming. That's just not possible.
It was also really interesting that scene with Agnes's dad and Daisy, where he had that moment where he just asked Daisy, like, is she happy? And you
Mhm.
could see that he genuinely wanted to know that she is okay, that she is getting through this okay, and that she is happy. And to get that canned response back from
Yeah.
Daisy, you could just see like just his whole body language, just sighing out of course, I'm not going to get any
Yeah.
information. She's not allowed to talk to me about anything. I'm never going to know if she's really happy or not. Like, just utter defeat.
This is sort of the interesting reality for this show. And it's very, I know it's very surface level to sit here and be like, people are complicated, but that's what I think the Testaments is trying to show us, which is just that, yeah, commanders are very, very terrible people. But we also saw in The Handmaid's Tale, Commander Lawrence, like there were other characters that were a little bit more nuanced than just let me twirl my mustache and laugh all the time. Like, I think there is some level of care here.
I think there is definitely a level of care here. It's just very interesting the way that this world has been created so that no one can really honestly talk to each other
No.
unless you're in some sort of a deeper friendship, because they're, even trying to stop the girls from being friends because then they can start to like collude or whatever's going to end up happening. That it's like everything just has to be really surface.
Yeah.
If you're talking to somebody, from the opposite sex, it's got to be very neutral. There is no getting deeper with anything. So there's no information that can really be shared so that this can never be broken.
This is what makes Daisy, I think, a really interesting character at this point, because, well, I mean, we all obviously know she's a Pearl girl, but at the same time, like, Agnes, her dad, like, they have that understanding of what a Pearl girl is. So I think he probably thought he could go in there and have this, like, vulnerable conversation with Daisy, feeling like, okay, here is a young woman who's probably not fully programmed into this Gilead way of life. Like, maybe I can get something. And that's probably why he is so disappointed when he cannot. And maybe this is why I'm still hoping that Daisy can be something for Agnes, because she knows that she's different, even if there is a very clear and obvious trust issue here.
Well, and the fact that he is seemingly talking to another country or traveling to another country, being part of something that he is not supposed to be part of. Maybe he's some sort of an in of a commander that maybe Mayday can try to find a way to work over.
Yeah, because there are sort of two different roads that Mayday can go down with this information, right? There is number one, which is, they try to go find a way to flip this guy, use him as a resource from within, no matter how all that comes about. Or you go to some other people in Gilead and like, hey, did you know what this guy is doing? And you just go to get some level of punishment. But, to me, if I'm trying to be, I don't know, a tactician here within the world of Mayday, I'm trying option number one, because what good does it really do you to take down one commander? Because there's still going to be, unspeakable numbers of them still left.
Absolutely. And who knows how many other commanders are also doing this as well, or part of this as well. He might be somebody that can be flipped.
Okay, I want to have a larger question/discussion here on Daisy, and I want to hear what everybody has to say about this. Like, is it effective 4 episodes in, and we talked about this a little bit in episode 3, to not really connect all the dots when it comes to how she ended up in Gilead? Like, is that a compelling enough mystery that we know what happened to her? Like, do we really need to spend time lingering on the how or the why here?
It's gonna be all season. I totally feel it in my heart. We've all been having the conversations. Who is Daisy really like? Because we saw what happened with June. Yes, we've all heard what Bruce had to say, that Daisy is not Nicole. And those conversations are still happening within the fandoms. That's like, well, if we haven't seen it on the screen yet, then we really all don't know. And I think that it's fair to still be able to have all of those conversations of whoever you think that it is right now. It's a-okay. We can like figure it out together. But I do not think that the show is going to give us really any answers on that till maybe like episode 8, 9, maybe even the finale. I think they want us to be having these fun discussions and just enjoy this mystery of like, who is she? And I'm okay with it.
It's really funny because I mean, I don't necessarily need it. Like, I'll throw it out there. Like, they could tell me.
No, I need it.
They
The discussions have been so good.
They could tell me in episode 5 and I would be fine. However,
Please don't.
I'm okay if they do string us all along on this for a little bit, just because, mysteries are fun. I mean,
I love a slow ride.
as a lot of you know, we watched 10 seasons of The Blacklist, and I don't think any of us still know who Raymond Reddington really is.
No, they never answered that. But you know what? Man, the ride was so good.
Yeah, the ride was really good. I do think we're going to get a clear answer. And yes, there
so.
are a number of different theories out there,
Yep.
whether it's Nicole, someone from Angel's Flight, someone else we've said. Okay.
Janine's child. There's been all kinds of theories going out there. And thank you so much for sharing them all with us.
They've been really, really fun. Like, to me, the only thing that matters is that I want it to be a setup of something where you understand how meaningful it was for June to be involved with her. I don't really want it to be, oh, here is this character or person who you never saw, never heard of on The Handmaid's Tale, weren't a part of Angel's Flight or anything, because then it's not a retcon, but it does feel a lot of, okay, we just sort of made this up because we decided we didn't want to go down X, Y, or Z road.
I would also hope that, and I don't think I'm going to get this, but some sort of explanation then, if Daisy is not Nicole and everything everyone is saying about the show is true, what Bruce has said, it is not Nicole.
Yeah.
Why does this actress look exactly like June and act like June? It's so close for two characters that just haven't allegedly really met until right now that I'm just like, why? I mean, the actress is just so good. So I'm just kind of going with that. That's like, it's just a coincidence that they look that similar, but this actress is so good.
Yeah.
There's no way to say no to not like casting her.
Yeah.
Come on.
Here's just my tinfoil hat on it.
Okay,
Like, I don't know if this is true, but we're all just having fun here, right? Like,
it's all just theories.
I feel like there is a certain part of everybody on the show behind the scenes sort of doing like the where even if it's not Nicole, they just want to sort of throw this bone to all the book readers out there that are just sort of like,
I'm fine with that.
yeah, oh, we're going to make you think this. Yeah, forget the timeline. Forget whether or not we're just going to throw this at you. Look how similar they are.
I'm totally fine with that. Honestly, this has been really fun to talk about, to actually have that's why I'm saying I really hope that this lasts all season long, because it's really nice to have with this show.
Yeah.
Just this overall arcing mystery that it doesn't have to go on for 10 seasons like Blacklist. Like, please give us an answer this season. I like a slow ride, but it doesn't need to be 10 seasons long. But give us the slow ride. It'll be all right. It's been fun.
There's just been so many things I've loved about these first 4 episodes. I mean, whether it is like the world building, the set design on the tea party scene.
Oh my goodness.
It was so good, so impeccable. There was such like a real sense of tension there.
Yeah, like even down to the cookies, the Madelines. I was just like, they picked a cookie that's like so high-end French cookie that I haven't heard a Madeline in forever. Nobody eats those. They are very, very high-end traditional type cookie. As soon as they said that, I was like, they are really setting this up. This is the tea party.
This was the most stressed out. I can think of 2 examples in TV-wise where I've been as stressed out as this. One of them was watching an operation on the pit, which we're also covering, where it's like, is Aunt Lydia going to take out this person on accident? Like, what's happening? And then it reminded me of like the season 1 finale of The Bear, where Carmi's just like screaming at everybody, and my blood is just, it was so unbelievably tense. But
so tense.
The last thing I want to shout out here is one of the underrated supporting characters. Not that I really like her, but Shunammite's just a really interesting like foil to a lot of these other people. And I think it stands out to me is that to all you out there who watched Girl Meets World when it was on the Disney Channel, that show, it drove me crazy. I really wanted it to be good because it was, Boy Meets World, nostalgic to so many of us. But who would have thought that the 2 stars of that show would end up being Shunammite on the Testaments and Sabrina Carpenter, the biggest pop star on the planet? It's so unbelievably weird. But I love this whole cast. I love like everybody, the relationships that they have with each other.
Yes.
It's so rich despite only being so far into the run.
Yeah.
But that is where we are coming out of the Testament season 1, episode 4. Let us know. What do you think is going on here with Aunt Lydia? What does she know, not know? All of your Daisy theories. We welcome more of those. And, if you want to support us further, join our memberships. Like, it is a really, really great way. And we appreciate that support so much.
Yes,
we'll see you here next time.